Day 4 in Östersund, and the women's pursuit, the only race on the schedule today. Patrick Winston and Mike Dixon once again with you throughout the World Cup action here in Sweden. But before we get underway with the race, a quick chat with Frank Look, who of course is having a look at the course and giving us his impression of how the race is going to go.
Well, Frank says that today the wax experts, the technicians, won't be bored because it snowed last night. Around 3 to 4 centimetres of new snow. He says this has changed completely the conditions from yesterday. Out skiing, he said he can assure us that it's a lot softer than in the men's race yesterday, and it'll be quite a difficult race for the women today. Have fun.
So the going is going to be tough on course, and we can confirm exactly what Frank Look has said. Mike, that plays into the hands of the stronger skiers if it was just a straight skiing race, but because it's tough conditions and the wind is very much stronger than we've seen so far in this round of the World Cup, it's going to be the Glagaus who come through, those who are really confident with their shooting, and maybe the ski speed won't be so relevant.
Quite likely Bavrel Robert comes into that category of good shooting, but remember, Bali is on extremely fast ski form.
So the first five all getting away in the first 5 seconds. Bayi, Zaitseva, Brankovic of Slovenia, Pilieva and Wilhelm all underway already. Albina Akhjatova going off number 6, so tightly packed at the start. The top 60 from the sprint, all qualifying for this pursuit event. Ishtag Christiansen, a nice steady start from her alongside Katrine Arpel of Germany, and then next to go at 38 seconds is Katrina Holubachova, I think still the best of the Czech biathletes. Elena Zabrilova going number 10. There she is in the green on the right of the screen, starting just ahead of the World Cup leader Ushi Diesel in yellow again, and Bavrel Robert and Nazarova also in that group. So Mike, the first 11 getting underway, only 43 seconds separating them. Any one of those 11 have a really good chance of winning, and don't rule out those outside the top group.
No, absolutely not. But look at Ushi Diesel go. They call her the turbo skier, and 43 behind. I think she'll be after pulling back 15 seconds on this lead group before the range.
Well, we'll see what happens to Diesel, on absolutely fantastic form in the first meet of the season in Biderstolen. Won both the sprint and the pursuit there. Her form has started to drop a little. She's no longer the quicker skier. Sandrine Bailly, 15 to 20 seconds quicker than Diesel in the sprint event. So maybe an indication that Diesel's form was too good to be true.
Quite likely she came in so strong, had a little setback prior to the World Cup, so her body was rested. And maybe you're right, just dropping now before Christmas. The Christmas break, however, she will gain her form back, I am convinced.
Well, really the story for Diesel this year is all about winning the overall World Cup, but on the form we've seen from Sandrine Bailly of France, the current leader, wearing number 1, she's going to be the woman to beat. She's won the last 2 races, the pursuit in Holmenkollen and of course the sprint event here on Thursday, and she leads the way at the moment. Bailly, 8 wins in her career now, 2 of those in the pursuit event. And if we look down the list, Mike, 19 of the 60 starters here today have all won World Cups, but 4 of them have won 70 World Cups between them. That's over 70% of the total won by the whole field. And that, of course, Zabrilova, who's won 20, Ushi Diesel, 26 wins, 5 in the pursuit, and then Poiré with 16, and Martina Glagau, we think it's 9 or 10, but strangely enough, she's been left out of the biography book this season.
Well, that normally indicates that you're not part of the team, but without a doubt, Glagau was a part of the team in the summer. In fact, her father was telling me just a couple of days ago that in running terms, Glagau has improved in 3,000 metres. They do this test every summer on the running track. She's improved by 30 seconds. Now, that is a substantial amount, but she hasn't really shown that increase in form on her skis this season so far.
So, welcome to Östersund. If you've just joined us, Mike Dixon, Patrick Winston with you throughout the race here today. It's only going to take about 30 minutes, so no time for making coffee and late breakfasts. As we watch Sandrine Bailly, looks very focused at the moment. She's had some good standing shoots so far this year. And it's not going to be long, if she keeps this form going, that she closes the 40-point gap at the top of the World Cup standings, currently lying in 4th place. Very, very good shot. The French have a reputation for shooting well in both the men and the women's.
They have indeed, and they do work so much on that as a team. They stand beside each other, they do little sprint races back and forward to the front of the range, putting each other under massive amount of pressure. And that's really what this is all about. Sandrine is coming in first place today. She's got 4 other top athletes right on her shoulder, and it's about dealing with that pressure. And here's the turbo.
Well, starting off the pace at the start of this race, 43 seconds down for Uschi Diesel. Will get a split time. Well, she hasn't made that much of an impression, Mike. In fact, she's lost 1.8 seconds to Sandrine Bailly. So an indication maybe that Diesel is either starting to tire after an immense effort at the start of the year, or the fact that she's decided to take it easy for the first shoot, make sure she hits and then make a charge.
Could be her tactic there, actually, Patrick, and if it is, I admire her for that, because it's so easy to get caught up in this aggressive first 2 kilometers, and it can really put your shooting back.
Well, we've mentioned Diesel. Don't forget Livgreta Poiré, last year's champion, who started 18th today, 56 seconds down, in fact, off the leaders. We'll try and give you an update on her progress as soon as we can. She's moved up 4 places already, but is still 56 seconds down, so not making any ground on the leaders. Others who have a chance of coming from behind, Martina Glagau, a very disappointing sprint event indeed, finished down in 26th position, and she's 1 minute 30 off the leaders at the start of today's race. So Glagau has an immense amount of work to do, but she well, I think she could do what Chepikov did in the men's race yesterday.
Well, I've been brave and I've put Martina Glagau in my top 5 for today, but I mean, it is quite a performance to move up from 26th to the top 5, but we'll have to wait and see. The pressure I feel at the sharp end here, all 5 of these coming in together, it's going to unsettle them more than normal. Unlike the relay, you don't have 3 spare rounds, so you feel the pressure, the importance of each one of these times you squeeze the trigger. They're trying to calm themselves down now in the physical and the mind.
So Bailly, Brankovic there of Slovenia, what a fantastic run she's having. Got a PB on Thursday, a 3rd place in the sprint. 10 of the top 11 athletes at the start of this race have all won before. Brankovic hasn't. It would be a great occasion were the Slovenian to come through and take this, but she's got some good shooting to do before that is even a possibility. Good start from Wilhelm and Zaitseva. Going well. Sandrine Bailly, mechanical and effective. 5 out of 5 for her. Pilieva, 1 to go. Down it goes alongside Zaitseva. So the 2 Russians coming away. Albina Hyatova having a few problems, Mike. Not quite sure what's going on. Really taking her time. And in fact has lost quite a lot of time in the initial skiing phase. Well, no change with the number 1. Sandrine Bailly goes out 2.6 seconds ahead of Zaitseva, who started 2nd, and Pilieva, who's moved up from 4th into 3rd. Kati Wilhelm also making a little bit of ground on the leaders. 5th up into 4th now, just 5.9 seconds off the lead. That was a very steady shoot, considering the conditions.
Oh, I'm so impressed with those 4 that have gone through the split time. Total control, they didn't panic, stuck to their routines.
A mistake from Uschi Diesel puts a little bit of pressure. Livgreta Poiré missing her first shot. That is, I'm afraid, the name of the game, the story of the season so far. Poiré's inability to hit all the targets and her confidence decreasing with every single event. It's going to require a lot of rest and a radical turnaround over the Christmas break if she's going to get back to last season's form.
There goes Glagau. She's got 5 with 5, rapid fire, just like Beer.
Watch Glagau's position. Remember, she started down in 26th position and could well get herself into the top 12 with that first shoot coming out now. Uschi Diesel completed her penalty loop. 109 behind, so lost a lot of ground because of that missed target. And Glagau, Mike, that's impressive. 115 behind now, shooting clear. She's not lost any time to the leaders, and she's moved up 8 places on that first shoot.
And that is the importance, isn't it, of keeping control, focusing your mind on the range.
Bit of a shame, Brankovic missing one, and she's dropped from 3 seconds behind to 31. The penalty loop a good 2-3 seconds slower than it has been in the previous 3 days, taking them 25-26 seconds to complete. But as the race goes on, the track should get a little quicker, so the penalty for missing less severe. But Sandrine Bay and Immac before the biathletes get a very well-earned rest. The women's pursuit just starting, the first shoot completed already, and the total distance ski today only 10 kilometers, so the loops of 2 kilometers completed in something like 5 minutes. Storchon, the Great Lake in the background. You can see how much of the ice has melted over this weekend. It had full ice coverage when we arrived, and now a good, well, 10-15% of this end is clear, but it's an enormously long lake, 293 miles.
And they think they've got a monster in the lake as well.
Yeah, but that's
good marketing.
You know all about that sort of thing. Now, top 4. Bailey, Zaitseva, Pilieva and Wilhelm. Mike, one of the noticeable things this season is that the Russians have really picked up form, and speaking to the Russian commentator, our colleague Sergei, just saying that the real reason is that they've got so many juniors coming through who are absolutely brilliant, and they're putting immense pressure on the leaders, and that's one of the key factors in producing a good team. If there's no pressure from underneath, you just get a little bit overconfident and you're not pushed, whereas in the Russian squad now, if you want to go to the World Championships, you have got to be racing well.
Do you know, that sums it up? That is a great mind focuser. You know that if you know you're good and you're safe in the team, you'll just be happy to stay top 5 in the team to get a race. If you've got people that are coming through and taking your place, you will work harder and focus harder. Good to hear that.
Well, just looking through the order, you see Martina Glago coming up through the rankings, 12th position now. Remember, she started down in 26th, went into 15th after the first shoot, but she's starting to make ground on the skis as well. Liv-Greta Poiré starting to put her race together, 1:25 behind, having started 56 seconds down, but she missed a target on that first shoot, but she's starting to speed up. And I think we're going to see Poiré missing a massive targets, I'm afraid. I don't believe she can have regained her confidence in the last 48 hours. And it's going to take a long period of maybe shooting with husband Raphael over Christmas before she starts to believe in herself again.
Yeah, Poiré has come in with problems this season. She took 3 first positions before Christmas last year, and that must be playing on her mind. Last year I was so good, this year I can't get it together. But we'll see. Hopefully the next 3 visits here to the range, it can change.
Well, the leaders starting to ease down. The conditions here, remember, very soft today. The wind has been problematic right the way throughout zeroing. But Bailly very consciously slowing the pace down before she comes in for this second shoot. I think she's confident that if she goes out with anyone at the end of the day, she's in good enough form to ski away from them, so she's not in a rush. At the moment, she is controlling the race, doing everything at her own pace. So
the flags are spinning around, Patrick. They're blowing into the girls' faces now. They were coming from the left. Could well create some problems.
Zaitseva getting through the targets very efficiently, but not quite as quickly as Sandrine Bay, the French woman, out again. Her lead guaranteed as she leaves. Zaitseva right on her heels. Pilieva, can she match them? A little more deliberate, taking her time. That last shot, holding. A desperately long time from Olga Pilieva, but it goes down in the end. She's going to have lost 10-15 seconds because of that. Kati Wilhelm will move up into 3rd place. Now, Brankovic might get on the range, but who has come out of nowhere? The Chinese athlete started 17th, 55 seconds down, and she's come in 6th position. A phenomenal ski. Bad conditions, though, now. Brankovic making sure. Remember, 1 penalty on the first shoot, and she gets all 5 down. Good shooting. Still has a chance of winning here today. First mistake from who? Maybe skiing too fast.
Pushing so hard out. I'm so impressed with the first 5 biathletes through. They haven't missed a target. And that is great discipline today.
Well, if they stay together right to the end, I think it's going to be a question of nerve rather than ability on the final shoot. They've all proved they can hit them. It's just a question of what they can do when the pressure is on.
Look at Ponza once again from Italy, showing her strength on the range. That will move her up into top 10.
Livretta Poiré going clear. That's a much better shoot from her, so she brings herself back into contention. Should close the gap down on the leaders. But remember, no mistakes from the leading 5 skiers so far in this women's pursuit. Filipova of Bulgaria gets 5. Well, it looks difficult, Mike, but this is as good a shooting as we've seen all season from men or women. And in the pursuit race, where the pressure is at its greatest, you can't fail to be impressed.
Well, I think what's happening, and we saw it with Sandrine Bailly, she outskied the other athletes by 40 seconds the other day, and probably still has that potential today, but she's held her form, her speed, her absolute speed on the skis back in order to hit the targets, or at least make it easier to hit the target.
So, approaching the halfway stage of this women's 10-kilometre pursuit. You can see the order for yourself. It goes France, Russia, Russia in the top 3, but impressive results throughout. The movers, Livretta Poiré 18th, up into 11th now. Martina Glago, the great German, also making ground. We're going to take a quick break. We'll be back with the remainder of the women's pursuit. Stay with us. So, welcome back to Östersund. Just starting to heat up here. We're halfway through the women's 10-kilometre pursuit, coming up to the 5.1-kilometre marker. And still, Sandrine Bailly of France in control, but she's got Zaitseva, the Russian, right on her heels. Zaitseva, I've been impressed with her performances so far this year. 2 seasons ago, Mike, she was brilliant at this stage, came out of nowhere to win, had been knocking on the door of the national team, but they gave her a chance and she promptly went and won 2 races in succession. But here she is in second place, 0.9 of a second down on Bailly. Olga Pilieva, for me, she's the consistent, she's the Poiré of the men's, of the sort of women's squad. Generally in the top 5 or 6. She's had one bad mistake, but on the whole she's the most consistent of all of them.
Oh, indeed she is, and that's largely due to her control on the range. She is hitting more targets than the rest, and really vital to do that, especially in these short races where you're shooting 4 times.
Well, I think Valery Medvedev, her coach and husband, should take some credit for what she's achieving this year. She just looks relaxed. She's one of those, and on the whole, those who have got kids tend to be a little bit more relaxed about it.
Well, that's it. The life changes, the life experiences. You've been through some tough times, some hard times, and you know how to deal with situations, and that is partly the main aspect of biathlon, dealing with tough situations.
Well, having said that, how come this woman, Livretta Poiré, has suffered? She's, you know, new to motherhood, but somehow all the press attention, the media attention does seem to be affecting her, because they spend their life in France and Norway. They get double the intrusion that normal people would get.
Well, I even remember Poiré last year at her best saying, when she was asked how long are you going to keep on pushing so hard and winning medals, she said, hey, as soon as I begin to stop enjoying biathlon, I will finish. So she knows exactly what she wants in life. Zaitseva skis there. The Russian technicians have prepared them better, I would say, than the French technicians on today's snow.
Well, that's... yeah, but can we really say that? Unfortunately, we don't have a time split, a speed gun, which I think we should have at all the World Cups. It would give us good information. A little difficult to read it in the mass starts and the pursuit, simply because the slipstreaming effect is fairly significant.
It is indeed, but I've noticed out in the track, Zaitseva's glide is slightly faster, yeah. And I like the way she's coming on to Bailly's shoulder to try and, well, absolutely make her aware, look, I'm here, I'm beside you. She doesn't need to be out there beside her, but that's why she's doing it.
I tell you what, if she just nipped ahead of Bailly now and claimed lane 1, that would really upset the French woman, because you know, she's got a game plan. I'm surprised she didn't try that, but it might also have distracted her.
Could backfire.
Yeah. So here we go. Look at the wind flags once again, and it's gusting now.
And this is where the pressure is beginning to really build up in this race.
Now Bailly, if anything, has the better position, protected from the wind by Zaitseva. So should establish a good position, but 3 shots for Zaitseva. First mistake from the Frenchwoman. Oh, great shooting. Zaitseva goes clear before Wilhelm and Pilieva even get a target down. Sandrine Bailly, a 25-second penalty, roughly. Now watch the time. They're coming up together, and Bailly, if anything, has slowed down. She's kept the same pace. Zaitseva has gone out very, very quickly. Maybe a little overexcited at the situation.
Well, that is worrying Zaitseva. You're right. She's thinking, OK, I have a chance here now psychologically to make a huge gap on the rest of the field.
Pilieva, slow and steady, but so far 14 out of 15. Can she make it the last one? Yes, she does. She goes clean. Well, it's a very deliberate tactic, isn't it, Mike? And I wonder whether she's going to find herself in contention come the last shoot. She's going to be in third place, I think. Zaitseva and Bay now 28 seconds apart. That's interesting. Bay really just going around the penalty loop at a pedestrian pace, possibly still tired from her magnificent effort on Thursday when she won the sprint event, skiing 20 seconds quicker than anybody else.
But it is a horrible feeling turning left and going onto that penalty loop. Poirier started well, missed the third shot. She's really fighting to keep control. Well done. 4 out of 5 is okay for Poirier at this stage. That's what she needs. Maybe improve the way things are going. Holubachova, another mistake from her. She's going to drop down through the order. Another good run, Mike, from Michela Ponza, the Italian, who's been really impressive this year, lying 9th in the World Cup standings. A very, very good junior back in 98-99, Ponza, with 3 medals from those championships. Then she dropped off her form. I think maybe pushed a little bit hard too soon. A rare mistake, a rare double mistake from Martina Glago. She will not feature in the top positions today. So just checking my list to see whether I've got her on the top 5 finishers today. No, good. Well, Glago went for absolute rapid fire there. She thought she can pull time back. As soon as that wind moves you over, you've lost it. The young, inexperienced Chinese girl who she missed 3 targets. Again, she just needs a couple more seasons under her belt to master this game.
So let's get the positions. We'll just round up on those positions. 3 shoots completed now. There we go. Olga Zaitseva leading the way. 28 seconds. That's a comfortable margin, but it is only 1 shot. So if she misses 1 on the final stand, then it could all change. This is where it went slightly wrong for Sandrine Bay, looking for a 3rd win. It was so close, Mike. Just clipped the top of the target. In the olden days, I think that may well have gone down. And with electronic targets, almost certainly that would have gone down.
Indeed, that is a factor.
The work rate for Sandrine Bay has had to go up. Now she's working hard, trying to gain ground on Olga Zaitseva. Olga Pilieva right behind her. And Pilieva is such a sensible race tactic. She's skied not excessively fast, but she has slowed as she's come in to shoot, Mike. She's taken 3 or 4 breaths in between each shot, as opposed to the standard 1, which she'll do in a sprint event, and she's just making sure.
Well, this is why Pilieva is consistently, as we were saying earlier, one of the best. Every day she performs well, and that is because she doesn't let herself get excited. She sticks to the routine of self-control. She doesn't rush any of the shots and tries to make them all count, and that's why today she's gone 0-0-0.
Well, only 1 more to go to get the clean sheet. Watch the time split. Zaitseva goes through 24.09. Remember that Bailly of France was 28 seconds behind the Russian once she left the penalty loop. And this is going to be a very good indication of what Sandrine Bay's tactics are. 28, 29, 30. Well, our first impressions were right, Mike. Olga Zaitseva coming out very, very quick, and that, I think, may make the Russian coaching team a little nervous, because she's going to have to calm things down before the final shoot.
That is so true, but Pilieva also pulling back a little bit of ground on Sandrine, so maybe Sandrine Bellier, after 2 days ago she put in an amazing ski speed, could well be suffering just a little bit from that. You push yourself to an extraordinary limit 2 days earlier, and you don't quite have that same fight 2 days later.
Well, as they say, talent is permanent, but form is temporary, and I think that may be what is happening to Sandrine Bay. Just very, very tired.
But this girl, Brankovic, is so impressing me, and Slovenia should be proud. As a junior, she was up there at the top, but then for the last 5 years as a senior, she hasn't really proved her junior worth, if you like, until this season. Come in brilliantly for this new season.
Here comes Kadi Wilhelm for Germany. Very distinct style, Mike, but she's a woman who comes from a cross-country background, as we've mentioned before, and when she joined the tour, she could afford to miss 2 targets and still compete for a top 3. She's lost that superiority, and it's not really that she's got any slower. The rest of the biathlon world have got faster and faster.
That is an aspect, and I think also when you're carrying the rifle, when you come from the cross-country side and you come into biathlon, you seem to have more dynamic speed in your legs. After a number of years of skiing with the rifle, it does change your tempo just a little bit.
Poiré, as you saw, going through in 8th position, and remember that she started way outside the leading position. She's gained 10 places already, and there is every chance that she could finish in the top 5 here today. We'll give you a rundown on that latest split time. 3 shoots completed, remember, 1 more to go. Zaitseva coming in now, preparing for that final shoot. This could be a very critical moment for Olga Zaitseva. 1 win already recorded this year, the sprint event in Holmenkollen just over a week ago. Can she make it number 2?
I sense some tension in her setup. She's panicking a little bit.
Big moment, clears the last one, does well to do that, but she has opened the door for the likes of Sandrine Bailly and Olga Pilieva. Now, this is a really tense situation. Bailly goes on lane 2. We've got Pilieva coming in lane 3. Is it going to be Russia or France today? Wind has picked up. Conditions not easy. 4 to get back on terms. 5 to have the lead. First miss. So now 1 penalty loop for Sandrine Bailly, and Pilieva, remember, clean so far. 18 out of 18, just 2 targets to go. Is Pilieva going to get on terms? Oh, she's thrown it wide. What a shame. She just must have had a temporary change of thought in her mind, and just a slight question mark over whether she was really going to do it, having employed those tactics. But she's failed, and she joins the rest on the penalty loop. There goes Olga Zaitseva, 28.16 the time, and I think she's going to find herself still a fairly healthy margin ahead of Sandrine Bailly. There we go. It's going to be just over 12 seconds. 12.5. Bailly having a little bit of a problem with the soft snow. Brankovic falling apart at the last shoot. What a shame. It could have been another top result for her, but she's got 3 penalty loops to do. Kadi Wilhelm, Mike, with a chance to move into the top 4.
Indeed she has, and this 4th shoot is the shoot that is tripping most of them up. Some can handle it, and Ponza is one of them. That's a perfect shoot today from Ponza.
Excellent stuff from Ponza. We've been watching her progress throughout the year. She's now totally on her own at the top of the Italian squad. The 2 Santa sisters struggling somewhat, and commiserations to Natalie Santa, who missed 5 out of 5 in the standing on Thursday in the sprint event. It was a painful thing to watch, but it can happen even to someone of her standard. Brankovic heading round the penalty loop for the 2nd of 3 times as Liv Greta Poiré comes out, 1 minute 10. But Mike, that's an impressive ski. 18th up to 6th, and she'll make some sort of effort to catch Kadi Wilhelm, but I'm not convinced she's got it in her.
12 seconds, well, without a doubt Poiré will be trying to pull those 12 seconds back, which would place her 5th, and then only a further 5 seconds would place her 4th, and she's going to definitely be heading out to do that.
Well, here is the current race leader. That first shot going very, very low indeed. She shakes her head. She knows that a definite win is not on the cards anymore, but she's come out of the penalty loop in front. Zaitseva being pushed hard by the coaching squad, and you can see the difference for yourself. 50 metres. Sandrine Bay is definitely not the same skier as she was 2 days ago. Looks heavy, looks leaden. She's much longer on each of the skis. It's just a sign that fatigue has set in, and you can't really be surprised when you look at the calendar that they've had to undertake so far this year.
Sandrine is desperately tired, and Pilieva senses it. When you're hunting somebody who looks so fatigued, it gives you renewed energy. So can Pilieva pull back, what are we, 11 seconds to take second place? Not impossible. Poor old Sandrine Bay is absolutely whacked.
Well, that's going to be a very tough race for second and third position. Watch the time split between them. When they came out of the range after the fourth shoot, there was 11 seconds between Bay wearing number 1 and Olga Pilieva behind her.
Pilieva taking the better race line. Sandrine is staying in the deeper snow to the right of our picture. Pilieva is staying to the left of our picture. The track isn't as broken up. Still a long margin, Patrick. It's going to be a fight to the line.
Well, she's going very well, Pilieva. She's closed half of that 11-second gap, but running out of time. Remember, it's only a 2,000-metre loop before they come down into the stadium. Olga Zaitseva, I think, has victory number 2 for the season wrapped up now. Absolutely superb shooting from her. She lost 2 shots on the last shoot, but those first 15 shots all going down, and really that built a good platform, and the pressure was always going to be on all the leaders for that last shoot. So she's done well and got away with the 2 misses that she had on the last standing shoot. Now, what has Sandrine Bay got in there? Remember, by far and away the quickest skier on Thursday. Now she looks to be responding. 11 seconds the gap when we last got a measure. She goes through 19 seconds down. She's lost 7 seconds to Zaitseva. So Zaitseva is pulling away, and Olga Pilieva now just 5 seconds down, Mike. Which way do you see that? It's still a big margin.
It's still a big margin, and there's no significant climbs, areas that you can pull back time on someone who's tired. It's gently undulating, so that will stand in the favour of Sandrine Bay.
Only 900 metres in which to make up those 5 seconds. In a running race, that almost certainly wouldn't happen. But in skiing, when you make a burst like we've seen from Uschi Diesel or Lars Berger over the years, you can almost double your speed, but you've got to dig very deep to do it.
You have, I think, the main factor, this last, 900 metres, there's a huge element of downhill as we see Zaitseva on the downhill, and I don't think Sandrine's skis are as fast today. The 2 Russian girls were certainly gliding better, and that could be good news for Pilieva.
Well, we'll have to wait and see, but generally it's even harder to make time up on the downhill than it is on the uphill sections. Here goes Olga Zaitseva over the last hill now as she heads down towards the stadium. 2 turns to negotiate. We've seen a few falls. Doesn't look particularly comfortable, but she's round safely down to the bottom of the stadium now, and just 150 metres to go for Olga Zaitseva. She's going to wrap up her second win. Her fans in Moscow will be absolutely delighted with that.
She's going to pick up the flag, quite right, proud. She has time to do this.
So win number 4 in her career for Olga Zaitseva. She secured her place in the Russian squad for the World Championships with this victory, and will close the gap at the top of the World Cup standings. Lying in 3rd position before today with 187 points. Uschi Diesel 222. We'll watch out for Diesel's progress as the race goes on. Bay survives the challenge from Olga Pilieva. Just a couple of seconds too far. Had she been 6 seconds behind at the end of that second shoot, then I think Pilieva could have made a race of it. But she's got another 3rd place, and I think will secure her second position in the World Cup standings. She moves on to 247 points. Zaitseva moves on to 237.
Look at Ponza. She's desperate for a 4th place, not a 5th.
Well, is it going to be the Italians who are usually so good at the sprinting? Katie Wilhelm on the right in the red, not giving Ponza any room at all. And Ponza coming out on top. I think that's fair dues. 54.4 seconds behind the leaders, but another top finish for Michaela Ponza. Great stuff. It's not going to be long before we see her on the podium. Her shooting today, immaculate. 20 out of 20, the only one in the top 20 to have achieved that. And in very tough conditions indeed. She really is the real deal. She's got a lot of potential now. Poiré, 18th, up to 6th. I think that's what she needed to turn the form, turn the tide.
Yeah, and only missing 2 targets. Impressive. The form is coming back, and tomorrow the mass start, we may well see Poiré getting on that podium. That would be a nice Christmas present, wouldn't it, to see her back on top.
Albina Akhятova finishing in 7th, having started in 6th, so not too bad for the mass start world champion. She'll enjoy tomorrow's and we'll get some idea of what sort of form she's really in. Here comes Brankovic, who started 3rd today. It's been a great weekend so far for Brankovic here in Östersund, and I think we'll see her in the mass start doing very well. Katrine Arpel, like another top 10. She's there or thereabouts. That's what she needed to secure her place in the confidence of the German coaches. I think we'll see her improving now. Davoshka of Bulgaria, I think that's her best run of the season. Davoshka, good shooting today. Only 2 misses came in the first of the standing shoots, but she started 23rd, has worked her way up into 10th position. Ishtad of Norway, who comes, well, my book says from Kristiansand, but I know she comes from Voss, which is just inland from Bergen. Lovely area, and some very famous biathletes coming in out of there. The likes of Erik Falfos, good mate of yours.
That's right. Erik was a former gold medal winner way back in 1984. And once you get one champion in an area, it goes all the way down the line. That information, that self-belief into the clubs.
Good run by Rachel Steer of the United States. That's good enough to gain automatic qualification for the World Championships. The United States just needing to record top 40s. She's into the top 20, matching the performance from Jay Hakkinen yesterday, who was 20th, and I think Jeremy Thieler won better in 19th place. So things starting to improve for the American squad. Just one more step to take before they get regularly into the top 10.
One of the best movers, Patrick. We've missed Xingying Liu. She started 57. She's down to 17th. She's moved up 40 places. What a ski time. Didn't shoot that well. Missed 3 targets, but what a ski speed.
So if we take the 3 misses off and we take an extra minute 15 off that time from Liu, we get to 1 minute 30 off the lead. She would have been in the top 7. That would have been one of the greatest climbs in the pursuit event of all time. Remember, just the top 60 from the sprint qualifying. Diesel, Mike, you didn't have her on your list for top 5, did you?
I didn't, but no, what a pity for Ushi. I can't believe she's lost such form just over the last 7 days. Last week in Oslo, she was on fire. It's not happening this week in Sweden.
Elena Petrova of the Ukraine. We've seen good form from her in the past with medals at major championships, but it just isn't happening today. 4:21 down. Used to be a teammate of Elena Zabrilova, of course, before Zabrilova headed to Belarus. Simone Denkinger, yet again, struggling to make World Cup points, just outside today, 34th. Hu, Mike, now what happened to Hu? Because she started to feature in the top 7 at one stage. She was clear on the first prone, 2 misses on the second prone, then it went 3 and 5, so a total of 10 shots missed from Hu. I think trying to ski too hard at this level, just getting excited, but it was a brave attempt. She made us sit up and take notice, but in the end it's her missed targets that have caught our attention. 10 out of the 20 missed.
And just coming through Dong, she's only 18-year-old from China, missed 7. Well, what a ski speed. She was a junior world champion at the age of 16, only 18 now, and skiing so fast.
Katja Haller of Italy, 5:23 behind, so almost 2 kilometers behind the best, skiing at an average speed well under 3 minutes per kilometer nowadays.
Just looking at some of the German results, I think Uwe Musagang, the coach, will be having a pretty sharp talk with the team tonight. It's unusual for Martina Glago to miss 5. It's unusual for Uschi Diesel to miss 8. And that is why they're in 24th and 26th position.
Shona Usova, 5:53. Things not happening for her this year. She used to be one of 2 at the top of the Russian squad, but she has since been overtaken by the likes of Zaitseva and Pilieva, and I wouldn't be surprised if Shona Usova doesn't make the end of this season, but we'll have to wait and see whether she can just improve her form in January. So another great day for the Russians. Olga Zaitseva wrapping up a win here in Östersund. So chilly and breezy here in Sweden. That's the end of our coverage.